Moscow has again downplayed expectations for a third round of peace talks with Ukraine and has still not confirmed that talks announced by Ukraine for today in Istanbul will go ahead. And after the Kremlin said the two sides are far apart in their visions of how to end the more than three-year-old conflict, Volodymyr Zelensky saying only that Kyiv is ready to secure the release of our people from captivity and return abducted children to stop the killings and to prepare a leaders' meeting. Well, we're going to cross then to Istanbul, talk to our correspondent Jasper Mortimer, who joins us from there. Jasper, any sign then at the moment of these talks actually happening today?
Yes, they are going to happen, but I understand why you're asking the question. Look, the talks are going to be hosted by the Turkish Foreign Minister, Hakan Fidan, and yesterday he told us that they would be taking place. And a few hours later, the president's press office said they would begin at 7 o'clock in the Çırağan Palace, which is that Ottoman palace with the light green roof behind me there on the other side of the Bosphorus. Now, I understand why you asked the question. You asked it if they'll take place, because there's so much skepticism about negotiations. The two sides are so far apart that people wonder why they're going to sit down for a third set of negotiations in 3 months. The Ukrainian President Zelensky has pushed for these negotiations because he sees that Russia's President Putin is under pressure. Trump has threatened to impose secondary sanctions on Russia. That's sanctions on the countries that Russia trades with, unless Putin takes serious steps towards peace by early September. And I think Zelensky hopes that the Ukrainian delegation can exploit that pressure in the talks over there this evening. On the Russian side, this won't be admitted, but I think Putin does fear secondary sanctions. And certainly Putin doesn't want Trump to think that Russia is spurning peace efforts. So Putin will make sure there is a Russian delegation in that palace this evening.
So, Jasper, assuming then that they do happen, what do you think is the best that could come out of it?
Well, the Ukrainians say they want two things. One, they want an exchange, a large exchange of prisoners of war. And secondly, they want the return of the Ukrainian children that Russian forces abducted in the early weeks of the war. Now, I'm not sure that they will get any children out of these negotiations. I think the most likely outcome will be similar to what we saw in the negotiations in May and June, that the two sides will agree on an exchange of prisoners of war and on the return of the bodies of fallen soldiers.
Jasper, thanks very much. Jasper Mortimer, our correspondent, joining us there from Istanbul.